The Jets are now on the clock.
Don't blame me, oh, niggas shame me. Had to get it how I got it on my own to be. Don't blame me, I'm what the game made me, not what the fame made me. I won't let it change me, I'm the same man.
I tell myself I never change, yeah. Dirty soul to treat me like a stain, yeah. Do whatever, get you paid, yeah. Rolling from the cradle to the grave, yeah.
I look up, so many.
Oh my God.
So many. I done made sacrifices. So many sacrifices.
Straight up.
I done gave up so much free time, knowing time ain't free. I sacrificed it. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love, then you make sacrifices. To get ahead, man, you gotta make sacrifices. That's how hungry my appetite is. Yeah. What you telling me? I sense the jealousy, I got telepathy, I got the recipe, I got the streets and I don't got no felony. Forward thinking, yeah, my mind is ahead of me. Mama said it's gonna be whatever you let it be. It's some homies I grew up with that's dead to me. It's some that I just met in debt to me. What's in common is they both pay respect to me. I get it my way from Friday to Friday. My girl is a mix of Aaliyah and Sade. I came a long way from that Marvin and I pull out the driveway like I'm in a car chase, speed it.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
I'm leaving. No text, no call, but at airplane mode. Code, no P code, no time to change clothes. Same clothes, love if you're living by the same code. G code, leave. You dead to me, back to my destiny. Penthouse, bird's eye view, that's a nest for me. I got myself out of debt, so when you see me, know you somebody I'll never need. Sacrifices. So many sacrifices. Straight up. I done gave up so much free.
The Bills are now on the clock.
I sacrificed it. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love, then you make sacrifices. To get ahead, man, you gotta make sacrifices. That's how hungry my appetite is. Yeah. I cut the drama out my energy. Focus on it, inner me, never on it, enemy. And I done sacrifice my own time. I done sacrifice my own mind. I done sacrifice the club life. I done sacrifice my love life. Look, I cut the drama out my energy. Focus on it, inner me, never on it, enemy. And I done sacrifice my own time. I done sacrifice my own mind. I done sacrifice the club life. I done sacrifice my love life.
Also, I done sacrificed the thug life. Diamond shining, ain't no dull light.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Pull up in the Rari loud pipe. Them the dime, my wrist a Hyundai. Ooh, yeah, Gucci Python. Ooh, yeah, she play with her. Yeah, I bought that new charm. Pop on, I told her come see about me. Come on, come see me. The devil had entered my soul, my mama had beat it out. The devil, my mama had remember my grandma had told me you better be somebody.
The Lions are now on the clock.
Deposit. I made a M deposit.
Paid all these dues with the game. Sacrifice your strides for that stain.
Sacrifice.
Heard you sacrifice your life for that change. She sacrificed that money for
White.
left hand, got 3 rings. That's
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Dear Savage, take her to the mall and buy something. That's gonna wanna make your friends come. Make way with the timing. Tell me. Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from sacrifice?
The Titans are now on the clock.
We all came from sacrifice. 10 toes, yeah, you gotta stay down, eh? Just some yawn, looking for a way out, eh? People watching, yeah, I gotta skip town, eh? Hit my phone if you need a hold.
I done made sacrifices.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Sacrifices. Straight up. I done gave up so much free time, knowing time ain't free. I sacrificed it. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love, then you make sacrifices. To get ahead, man, you gotta make sacrifices.
The Packers are now on the clock.
My appetite is. Yeah, I know my great auntie was a slave. I could only imagine all the sacrifice she made. I could only imagine all that she had to take. I'ma make sure.
The Bears are now on the clock. The Bears have just picked up Wright. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
A veritable interception machine. He holds his college's single-game record for interceptions in a game, snagging 3. Scouts pointed to an almost 6th sense when the ball was in the air, and Matt Miller had him ranked as the top defensive back in the draft in his final mock. True lockdown defensive backs are few and far between, and this is a pick that should solidify this team's pass defense for years to come. It'll be very interesting to see if opposing offenses go right after him and how if he shows any rust after being avoided for much of his final year in college.
Let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the Patriots' last pick.
He's the type of wide receiver that several scouts believe could be the next all-time great. His performance at the College All-Star Game further supported this belief, hauling in double-digit catches and ending the day with 4 touchdowns. Draft experts praise him for his pure athleticism, but some have questioned his work ethic. Matt Miller is one of them, feeling that when the game comes so easily to you at the college level and you are so gifted physically, you could very easily lose the mental edge needed to excel in the NFL. He should get plenty of reps in the preseason to prove his worth and see if he can live up to the lofty expectations that many have for him.
Brag, please don't touch my rag. Or the Crispin Nash, Alessandra Gucci glasses, the W Anderson collab. You pop it like a you drop it on the. I'ma buy another. Cut, boys bring it back. Yeah, you know how to make it laugh. Plus, keeping tabs. I'ma fly first class. Quavo hit him with the dash. Please don't touch my rap. Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Do you know how much I'm spending? My closet, it worth about $1 million. To the look up the runway. Then the kitchen. Ralph Simmons, all kind of crazy colors, living color, left wrist, roll it butter, ice, Mason Margiela, my sweater, mama told me never settle, Ralph Simmons, don't lace him, got your bitch, wanna date him,
huh? What? Don't wanna talk about the paper, I swear to God, these be haters.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Don't get along, right with my neighbors, diamonds on my neck and roll it on, now I later got underbit flavors. I'm with my lifesaver. Ooh, feel like Darth Vader. I'm a boss, you know I might riff it. Ooh, right in my basement. Yeah. But you know that I'm gon' face it.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Color Uzi, yeah, he made it. Yeah, I wear that rap for I made it. Yeah, I wear that rap for I made it. Yeah, got that rap all in my basement. Yeah.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
I'm famous. Yeah, put my side Mark Jacob. Hey, making a place with my label. I get it.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Rubies red, my skin too black to blush, too red to send it on the iPhone pages. The scene on the wizard up. Pockets full of mint leaves. Been smelling like it brushed teeth. Say cheese, see the porcelain. Water, see backwoods. Raft dragging on the floor.
The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
Stuck to the pavement, they glued.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
100 or 2. I'm cold like I'm sick with the flu. I cover my face and I'm a spring summer 2002. Yeah, please don't touch my ride. In the grass, Teddy with the Teddy. Quick with the hands ready. Please don't touch my. Please don't touch my ride. Shirt off, I'm Cam, ready. Let's start in memory. Please don't pop my tie.
Hold on now. This pick is trading teams.
Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to give me. I still wish it would, I still wish them well, yeah. Put my problems in. Only check up when the checks come. My pockets looking blessed up. All the talking never stressed us.
They talking like they jealous of me. They talking like they never love me. They talking like they next door.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Showers on the way. I've been working 25 hours every day. Pull up with the bands, have them dancing in the rain. Pull up with the bands, have them dancing in the rain. Yo. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got look like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to get me. I still wish it would, I still wish them well, yeah. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got look like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Wish it would, I still wish them well, yeah. Promises and wishes, candles for my exes now. Ain't no fingers let to count my blessing now. Promises and wishes, trust me, it's been different now. No rings for the things I go missing now. Promise.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Why would I ever start celebrating? Why would I ever start celebrating? I'm naming all the hearts I've been breaking. I'm naming all the hearts I've been breaking. The showers on the way. I've been working 25 hours every day.
The Browns are now on the clock.
Have them dancing in the rain. Pull up with the bands, have them dancing in the rain. Yo. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got look like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to get me. I still wish it would, I still wish.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got look like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to get me. I still wish it would, I still wish them well, yeah.
The Chargers are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock.
Legging with Nick, we dump it off like V. Ramonovic. Sorry, homie, you know we not friends, it's off of politics. Politics never get to see who really run it. Now you know who run it. You rappers on punish.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
The Raiders pick is in. Let's go to Adam with more on Ford.
He left the combine looking like the fastest guy in his position group, which is kind of a big deal. Some scouts remained skeptical of his speed, but he proved them wrong again at his pro day. Few players at Indy looked as in control of their bodies as he did. He showed great knee bend on turns, kept a good center of gravity, and looked explosive on each first step. He wasn't talked about much before, but when he established himself as one of the more agile players at his position, everyone took notice. This was a great pick by the GM, and I know several teams will be upset they missed out on him.
I've been looking hard for a babe, huh? He ain't rapped this hard in a long time. You street, all V that dudes and eyes. Muslim homie always say, well, I ain't to the guys. On my life, been addicted to the power, ain't gon' lie, yo. Ain't no fear, I'm never willing, put the up in yo. Ain't no telling when we do it, we just couldn't get ya. Got a bad thing, it ain't lie. Why, with some keep my wide, north side, bumping north with a deck. When I was a baby, I was wildin' for respect. You gon' get your with the set. Around here and talk crazy, you get we ran so many out of here. Wonder why young Linky never had a fear. Say it once, say it twice, you gon' get peace. Anybody ever ask what happened with the bleach? Running from police, they almost had me wanna slip. Way back, I almost started yeah. Around the same time, bumping to your verse tip. I ain't know who went harder, made me wanna celebrate. Now we in the game and I'm so busy from the bank. Look at you like, dog, look where you came. I don't give a fuck about, man, yeah, change. And let your style and I need my change. DMV, I'm a the year.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Rapping, but I'm quiet when I'm near. Always plotting on the bitches and I'm plotting on my fears. We don't need no checks from the boys. We just need respect from the boys. We don't wanna fall in love by the force. So I just get the little re-drilling with the boys, yeah.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock.
Like the way it sounds, Frody? Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe. It's too hot, drop the top off the wagon. Lay back, fight.
The Packers are now on the clock.
Man, I'm flying.
The Redskins are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it. Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, all in it. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that, shake that. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that. I got 2 shows, I'm about to pitch another. Throwing alley-oops to my brothers. We all shine, nobody victims. I'm on these sweatsuits, black Pippins. I swag different. That's why the money in the bag different. Come up short, you left your fam. I lay on beaches and swerving whips. You ain't serving, you just an urban myth. Every day get flea.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Every day get to the day I die. Every day get, man, I that, and I that, bouncing up and down, nearly broke. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it. Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock.
No Harvard, but I was a scholar. Hard knocks, and I learned to be smarter. Don't prefer to be bothered. You get if I order. That's word to my father. I will for my mother. Deal with my brothers. Keep it real. Don't.
The Lions are now on the clock.
I duck under covers. Gotta stay on this mission. Got a vision that's endless. They told me don't be a menace. They gon' serve me a sentence. But now I'm up in the Guinness. The illest that did it. Get the cream look. Drop it in it. Give a lot of opinions. I'm just minding my business. If
the Cowboys are now on the clock.
Time for the gimmicks. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
The Titans are now on the clock.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Okay, now we back to school.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Everybody got cops come, mama cries, dead sons, Lord please bless them. Back to the party, I'm just pouring my. Don't get faced up before I start live it up. When the police come, better get them up. That's a floss track, better get them up. I'm a kiwi and it's a dinner rush. I'll let you finish up. Flock of diamonds, I can promise I'm being honest. This being modest. I am your highness. I am the finest. You rappers, plus you a liar. Don't idolize and I don't admire. Been doing me for like ever. I'm a better me, more clever. It's a new way. We surfing, baby, new age. That's a certain, baby. Let's take a ride. Put your for the ones that die. It's vows tonight. Just you and I get lost tonight and lose your mind. Squad, I'm it. 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 Squad, I'm it.
The Packers are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock.
Oh, look at this. They went with Mills. What's the latest on him, Adam?
Coming into the season, several scouts had him ranked as the top linebacker prospect entering the draft, and what followed was a flurry of media attention. The constant distractions looked to have taken their toll on him as he struggled to put together consecutive strong performances throughout the entire season. This inconsistency had him all over the experts' draft boards on a week-to-week basis. Even Todd McShay wasn't immune to the ranking roller coaster, having him anywhere from the number 2 to the number 10 linebacker available. This pick will be looked at as a bit of a gamble until he's able to prove he has the mentality it takes to turn in great performances on a week-to-week basis.
We coming up, pulling up, jumping all over your grass. So tell them I got a new girl. Tell the police that I'm the bank and I want all my 50s in cash. Tired of living check to check. I need 20 models. This is smiling in my grave, fresh to death. I've been Wu-Tang with a spectral deck. Yeah, I gotta just get off my chest. I cannot miss it, got lots on my list and you next. Take it how you want it. I ain't famous like I want it, but I think I might just skirt off. Blow the speakers and turn off. Pop up, go to church with my shirt off. Tell the Lord that I'm here now. I've been waiting for so long. I've been patient for so long. Breaking rules like there's no laws, and I did it for a long time. If you don't like me, take a ticket. There's a long line. Nice to meet me. I think the pleasure's all mine. They've been clocking me so long, I think they lost time. Ooh, you lost. What you mean? Woo! What you mean? Woo! And now I don't trust the so what you mean? Woo! Hold up, whoa, what you mean? Woo! Hold up now. Don't know what you think it compare me to. Adrenaline popping, the blood'll be leaking and running. Yeah. I do what I do, I don't care if you like it or love it. Tell all of my I got a new girl. Wait. You tell the police that I'm the bank and I want all my money in hundreds. I'm tired of living on the edge. I want it, they gon' call the feds. I just bought a cost of arm and leg.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Job instead, with your common sense. Me and the devil got too much in common, I swear. Yeah. Born in the ghetto, I never had nothing to fear. Take it how you want it. I ain't famous like I want it, so I might just throw a hissy fit. Call up Cassie after she broke up with Diddy, yeah. I told Shorty if she talking, and she gon' call her friends up and brag about we did. Whoa, I ain't in the talking, go chop off your lips. If I ain't in your top 10, go top off a bridge. My black boys, I boys that knock off your lid. I thought y'all gon' pop off, so hop off my. What you mean? I said, what you mean? Woo! Listen, I don't trust her. So, no, I said, what you mean? Whoa. I said, what you mean? Woo! You thought I was finished, you thought it was over. You thought I retired, you thought I went fishing with Kobe. I'm still as ill as considered as one of the coldest. Still a put a partner rapper here like Moses. I'm throwback like a molar roller.
I'm cooler than a cup of yogurt. Black flag board, truck soldier. I'm cool with laws and Ayatollahs. Rap guards like cops.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
Paul McCartney, I'm rich. I'm Muhammad Ali, I talk. I'm James Brown, about to tear down this. I'm Michael Jackson, them bad gon' get it. What you mean?
Been rolling on the freeway, I've been riding 85.
Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
This kid is an explosive defensive talent. Sadly for fans of college football, his career came to an abrupt end after he suffered a grade 3 groin tear while attempting to make a tackle. After surgery, weeks of intensive, platelet-rich plasma therapy, and months of strength training of the affected area, he looked like his old self when he took the field for his pro day. Some scouts in attendance even felt as though he looked stronger and faster than before the injury. I'd expect him to get reps with the first-team defense come training camp, and don't be surprised to see him starting in week 1.
I go through it. I gotta accept that I'm a. I pull up in several different options. That I would most ever. I shatter your dreams with this cream I make. Gotta be on the thinker. I say. I can't feel my toes, but ain't gon' fold up. I was in the double law when I rolled up.
The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock.
Let's go to Adam now, who has more on the Bears' last pick.
He's a linebacker that wasn't particularly high on anyone's board coming into the offseason. After Combine and Pro Day, his name started getting circulated around draft circles as a potential sleeper in this class. When I spoke to Matt Miller, he told me it wasn't really what he did, but what he didn't do that got everyone's attention. He finished either average or above that in every major test for a linebacker. What you get is a guy that can do everything asked of him and room to grow in several different areas. Coaches like guys in the middle of the field that they don't have to worry about taking out in certain downs, and he can provide that for this team.
The Jets are now on the clock.
Dig what I'm saying, this creek alone is on me, baby. Dig what I'm saying, I'm going hard. Yeah. I pop in your memory. You should be glad I'm showing you sympathy. I gave you real love out the gutter. Ever let you go, you gon' suffer from it. I go through it. I gotta accept that I'm a. I pull up in several different options. That I would most ever. I shatter your dreams with this cream I make. Gotta be on the thinker. I say. I can't feel my toes, but ain't gon' fold up. I was in the double law when I rolled. Yeah.
I feel like I should be giving up. You can't leave it's too much. But I'm tired of you, me on. Oh, and I don't like where this is going. And I've been stuck in all your apologies. Gave my all, but you wanted more from me. Keep your love, it doesn't feel the same. I hope it hurts you when you hear my name.
Rather you than me. If you've been with me from Port of Miami, it's been a journey. Ain't nothing changed. A little stronger, a little wiser. Maybe a little more. Blame it on America.
I'm pulling off the lot, I bought the cash. Her future bright, don't give about a bag. Be looking good inside the but I noticed that she missing all the edges. I run the game just by running with the poor attitude, they got rich calisthenics. Walking in the courtroom, sipping on the beverage. I know the judge, so I got a lot of leverage. This is fetish. Fully loaded on the 7.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Still in the box, gotta rap in acapella. Kim Trezor, people with the weapon. I got it, boy, don't make me be the devil. He knocking on the door and know the password. Gave me his blessings while I'm hotter than the last verse.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
Ain't no relations. I was taking being Franks and Boston Fiji. They 2 times in a row, that's a repeat. You end up, cause they easy. I'm in the freezy. She love me like she need me. I got my Maybach flooded out with extra TVs. I make a movie every single day. I judge a vulture when I flip the paddock face. Dead president, hit the dead president. Dead president, hit them dead presidents.
Let's go, all my little militant. Let's go to trial, we guilty to proving innocent.
Dead president, hit them dead presidents. Dead president, hit them dead presidents.
Fast. Let's go to trial, we.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Hands on me, got the yellow brace. Check off in my pocket like the yellow paper. Was what I was asking. Low facility, I keep it classy. Build an empire, yeah, that was my state of mind. Yeah, that was my state of mind. Keep the blocks over there, we call it Lego land. Meanwhile, it's like it's Amsterdam. Boy, fresh, you know who got the tropes. 16 when I bought my first rollie. Legend in my hood, just like a never ride in the extra car. Dead presidents, dead presidents. Dead president, hit them dead presidents.
Let's go, all my little militant. Let's go to trial, we guilty to proving innocent.
Dead presidents, hit them dead presidents. Dead presidents, hit them dead presidents.
Fast. Let's go to trial, we guilty to proving innocent.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
Ting ting, hear the sound. Oh, are you listening? Oh, you gotta hit the ground. Ain't no chain gonna hold me down. Dig deep, feel the burn. I've got a calling, so watch and learn. I heard a voice of his broken hymn saying, "I'm not, this is who I am." I know you ain't there yet.